Hello and welcome to a very quick session that I want to do on answer planning. It's sometimes overlooked in the P7 paper how important planning your answer is. It's absolutely crucial. It's very easy to get lost in this paper. It's very easy to repeat yourself. It's very easy to get midway through an answer and think, oh no, I'm on the wrong track, and have to go back and change things and second guess what you're doing. Now we want to try and avoid all of that and get ourselves a good layout and a good structure to our question through planning the answer. Now, you may have been told in the past to spend 30% of your time planning your answer. I probably wouldn't go that far. I'm just talking about perhaps 10 minutes to plan your answer and then get into the full thing. But what do I mean when I say plan the answer? Well, these are the steps I want you to follow. And we're going to go through these steps for various questions. We're going to plan answers as you would in the exam so that you can see this being done. So the first thing I would say that you need to do for planning your answer is identify what is required. So you need to read the requirement carefully, and I mean all of it. The requirement is usually quite long for P7. Make sure that you read not just what's required for this section, but what's required for the next, because often you may find yourself talking about things that actually apply to the next section of the question. And then you get there and go, oh, well, I've actually already discussed that in part A, when in fact it's part B. So identify what's required for your section. Make sure you're not talking about what's required for one of the next sections, but make sure that you see if there's two bits to that requirement, that you answer both parts. So be really strict on the requirement. The next step is to start to plan your answer. Now, to do that, I want you to brainstorm. I want you to read the scenario if that's what's required. Sometimes in P7 there is some strict knowledge questions where it's based on what knowledge you have of the syllabus. If so, I still want you to brainstorm. That means jotting down headings, bullet points, just getting ideas down on the page. Now it's up to you whether you do that in your answer booklet or whether you do it on your actual exam paper. Doesn't matter. The examiner does say that questions that show evidence of planning tend to get better marks. So that would imply that many good students do actually use the exam paper to plan. So if that's what you're doing, make sure you highlight it clearly that this is the plan. And then when you start your answer, highlight that this is the actual answer that you want marked. So plan your answer, get some headings and key points down there. Then use that plan as a framework. So we're going to take those headings from our brainstorming ideas and we're going to build our answer around those. So when I talk about how to actually go about writing in your answer booklet, I'll be talking about a heading and then short, succinct paragraphs. Those headings will come from the brainstorming ideas that you'll have done when you've gone through the scenario. So create your headings from those brainstorming ideas and then we can build on that framework. And when you're building it, I mean put your heading down, then a short, succinct paragraph, to the point, no waffle, and never write more than 3 lines without leaving a line. So that means that you're not saying anything that isn't relevant. You're referring to the scenario the whole time. You're not waffling on about rubbish that doesn't mean anything. And you're making sure that you're leaving a line at the point where you've decided you want some marks. So if you've written 3 lines, you're thinking, well, I want some marks for that. So highlight that to the examiner by leaving a line and then writing your next paragraph. That makes it much more easy for the marker to actually mark the exam. So I put this first because I want you to practice doing this all through this course and then all through your practice before the exam. This is the way to get used to actually doing the question. You want to plan your answers, especially in your practice. Planning is more important, I think, in your practice exam questions than it is in the exam. So you must plan to try and see, do you understand all of the issues? Can you build your answer? And can you structure it in a sensible way? And therefore pick up the professional marks that are available. Because if you have headings and short, succinct paragraphs, reference to the scenario, that's exactly what the examiner is looking for in terms of your answer structure. So practice doing this as we go through, and you'll see me doing it for various questions. Please keep coming back to this video to remind yourself of how you plan your answer.